Disclaimer. The content provided in this podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only. While we discuss topics related to mental health advice, life wisdom, and alike, the opinions expressed are personal views of the hosts and do not constitute professional, legal, or medical advice. We make no representations or warranties about the accuracy or completeness of the information discussed. Any action you take based on the information in this podcast is strictly at your own risk, and we are not liable for any losses or damages in connection with its use. Additionally, this podcast may contain discussions around addictions, substances, which are intended for adult audiences. We do not endorse any illegal activities. Please consult your local laws before engaging in any actions related to this content. By listening to this podcast, you agree that you are over the age of 18 or the age of majority in your jurisdiction and understand the terms of this disclaimer.
Welcome to the Balancing Forces podcast, where two opposites collide in the best way possible. One brings the fire,
the other keeps it chill.
But together we share life's lessons, hard-earned wisdom,
advice you can actually use.
Whether you need a fresh perspective or just a laugh, we're here to elevate your mind. So buckle up, because things are about to get real and
really funny.
Are you ready to level up your astrology game? Join the Alchemist Laboratory by Solar Systems. For just $33 a month, you get access to 10+ courses, a resource library, manifestation secrets, live Q&As, and so much more. Over $2,300 in value. Transform your understanding of astrology and unlock hidden knowledge. Sign up now through the school app and follow Solar Systems on TikTok and Instagram.
Bonus Track 9, Non-Negotiables, I Don't Give a Craps, and the Power of Percentages. Another exercise I run my clients through in this giant endeavor to allow the real you to finally come out of the box deep inside requires only a pen and a page of paper or two to start. This time, draw 2 horizontal lines separating the page into the 3 same-size sections. At the top of the top section, write non-negotiables. At the top of the middle section, write want but negotiable on. At the top of the lower section, write don't give a crap. Now, you can probably see where this is going, but stick with me, because there's a twist or two. First of all, I don't want you to do this exercise for your life as a whole. Rather, I want you to do one of these pages for each area of your life to really break it down. We all kind of do it already when we're considering a boyfriend or a girlfriend, at least in our heads. But I'm telling you, the more you do this and pull the meat off the bones for each area of your life, and the more you just have fun with it while you're doing the work, and the more you'll specifically tune in to who you really are. So, off to the top left corner of this page, write the word career. Later, you can do a page for girlfriend, boyfriend, relationship, one for as a parent and finances, or even buying a new home. Truth is, you can use this exercise for anything in your life, small or large. Before beginning, it is important to understand why we're doing this. Obviously, the goal is to define yourself for who you really are. But what most people don't understand is that getting it out of your head, as opposed to just thinking, stewing, and worrying about it, forces you to clarify your thinking and enables you to truly see what you believe and want. Writing it is a completely different experience from merely thinking about it. Putting thoughts into words so that you can see it outside of you is a higher order of creation. So, for this first relationship page, begin listing that which you know. It may be that you know exactly what 2 of your non-negotiables are, or a few things that you really don't care about that perhaps other people might care about. Or, if you know some of the things that you've discovered about yourself over the years that you're negotiable on but do have a preference for, list those in the center section. The goal is to list as many things as you can think of to go into each of the 3 sections. It is to really think about the question, yes, but more so to allow yourself to feel the answers. It is also to allow yourself to play. Play only happens when we're relaxed, and relaxation is necessary for tuning into the intuition. The answers aren't in your head, they're in your intuition, in your gut, in your sense of peace and inspiration. Let it speak its truth to you through how it feels inside of or on your skin. Does it excite you or make you grin? Does the thought of it bring you relief and peace? Those are big indicators it's a priority for you. Additionally, nothing is too big or too small for this list. If it's important to you, it's important to you. In fact, as with life itself, it is very easy to get caught up in only focusing on the big stuff. As the saying goes, don't sweat the small stuff. But the small and medium stuff are often the most important. That's where your commitment to your happiness becomes most evident. For it is the small and medium that is easiest to compromise yourself and neglect your intuition and yourself. Once again, if it's important to you, it's important to you. That is the point. See, up until now, you've been filling out the priorities for your life based on someone else's values. These pages are about you. Now, a few notes. The non-negotiable section is precisely that. It's the deal breakers. It's that handful of things that if they're not present, you're not in it. Or perhaps it's something that if it is present, you're out. We're always told in life, gee, you need to compromise more. But first of all, it's okay to have non-negotiables. And second, the whole point of knowing your non-negotiables is that you don't compromise on them. You honor your own wants and needs, which is for many people a whole new concept. One of my non-negotiables after my marriage became apology.
From marriage.com.
Wow, did that seriously just happen? I'm just going to pause real quick here for us to all just absorb what just happened. My device literally just piped up out of nowhere and was talking to me about what? Oh, Malanta. The funny thing is I watched a tarot card reading this morning by my favorite tarot card reader, Bubba Jolie, and the first card in the pile was about marriages. I'm a little creeped out. Anyways, back to the regular scheduled programming. One of my non-negotiables after my first marriage became apologizes freely and forgives freely. I do likewise, and refuse to be in a relationship with anyone close to me who expects me to do all the heavy lifting, who cannot and will not concede fault and express contrition. Absolute non-negotiable. The bottom section can at times be an eye-opener because it opens you to seeing what might be important to others in your life or in society, or what you've been told should be important to you, but just isn't that important to you. Further, if necessary, it can help others better understand you, despite their own different experiences. For instance, I had a girlfriend who was blown away when I told her that on my relationships page, in my I don't give a crap section, I had picking out my clothes. She'd only dated men who were very particular about the clothes in their closet and what they wore each day. It made no sense to her when I told her that both of my ex-wives bought my clothes, if they felt like it. Back then, I really didn't care what I wore. Often, what we don't care about says as much about us as what we do care about. The real action, however, happens in that middle, want but negotiable section. Here, I want you to list everything that you know you want in your career, in this case. Again, it can be big or small. Nothing is insignificant. But here's the twist that makes this section so instructive and helpful in negotiating your decisions. After every item, in parentheses, state the percentage you want it and the percentage you don't need it. So, for example, on my page for relationships and girlfriend, I had in this section, she cooks. But a woman who cooks for me really isn't a big deal because I have a weird eating habits. Lots of chips and salsa, very few vegetables, and I don't eat an evening meal most nights. So in parentheses, after she cooks, I had 20%/80%. In other words, for me, a woman who cooks is 20% important and wanted and 80% no big deal. You can imagine my response when I started dating a full-blooded Sicilian whose very identity as a woman was wrapped up in cooking for those she loves. Also, in the center section of my relationship page, I had present when listening. In the parentheses for this, I had 90%/10%, the ability and desire to be truly present to, listen to, and hear another human being are as close to non-negotiable as I can get. I tend to enjoy driven, high-strung women, but they gotta value and be able to stop on a dime and instantly go into listening mode. No small trick. I just can't be in a relationship of any sort with someone who doesn't care enough to stop and be present. Another in that section on my relationship page was likes sports and symphony. I was in the orchestra and the theater almost as much as I was in sports growing up. Both the arts and sports are part of my DNA, but neither is something I really need in a mate. As long as she will now and then engage in them with me, that's why I state it as likes sports and symphony, and not loves sports and symphony. In fact, I pretty much prefer to not watch football with other people, but enjoy season tickets to the symphony, whether with my mate or alone. So for me, like sports and symphony, rated this percentage 30% to 70%. I 30% want it and am 70% negotiable. I couldn't date a sports hater or someone who is bored by classical music, but I don't need someone who is fanatical about them either. They're just things that I enjoy for myself and would only occasionally enjoy sharing. So now you see the importance and effectiveness of the percentages. Also, now you can see how the issue of compromise in a relationship, a career, or even with your own self becomes much easier, because you can clearly see what you will not compromise on at all, what you totally don't care about, and then what those things are that you will compromise on, and how much and when you're willing to compromise. And see, this is critical because far too many people compromise themselves far too much on large, medium, and small issues. They compromise things they have no desire to compromise on, and often compromises too much. Some have the problem of compromising too little. For example, some single parents choose that course or even choose to become single parents precisely because it means they don't have to compromise in their parenting decisions, often because they perceive compromise as an admission that they don't know everything and aren't perfect, which opens the door on all of their insecurities and opens the door to criticisms and questionings. Or he or she is just so angry at the ex that he or she hates the idea of playing on a parenting team. Eventually, if you do this, you'll lose all sense of self. You become someone near completely different from what is written on your soul, compelled by the banal, inaccurate societal platitude to always compromise. You give and give and give in the form of compromise, giving up all of your own wants, then wonder why you're not happy. Every time you stand up for what you genuinely want, you are proclaiming to the heavens, I matter, damn it, I matter. And that hole in the love cup gets a little smaller. The third binary gate begins to open. But also, to know what is written on your soul, you must begin to allow up from inside of you the feel of what is right for you, especially in the medium and small things. Who you most authentically are is a feel, not a thought. For our thoughts become too easily infected by the thoughts, words, and deeds of others, arriving into us through our ears and eyes. Remember, tuning into yourself is not so much about discovering or finding as if it's outside of you, but about allowing because it is inside of you and has been blocked for too long by your fears and debilitating beliefs. And the only way to access it is to shut the thinking mind down and begin to feel it rise up from within, begin to allow for inspiration, creativity, and intuition to speak their course for your life. This exercise is a great tool for doing precisely that. How awesome is this? This is going to be the book we're going to be giving away. It is an autographed copy as well, so please stay tuned for the information on that giveaway. Thanks for listening. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, share this out with your friends. At the end of the series, there will be a giveaway for a copy of your own book. Thank you.